Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, total world victory of Hare Krishna. It's me, Sitapati Das. And this is Bhagavad-gita As It Is. Bhagavad-gita, the Song of God. As It Is, by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, text number 27. Let's go. Sarvāṇīndriya-karmāṇi prāṇa-karmāṇi cāpare ātma-saṁyama-yogāgnau juhvati jñāna-dīpite. Sarvāṇi, all, indriya, senses, karmāṇi, functions, prāṇa-karmāṇi, functions of the life breath, cha, also, apare, others, ātma-saṁyama, controlling the mind, yoga, linking process, agnau, in the fire of, juhvati, offers, jñāna-dīpite, because of the urge for self-realization. Translation. Those who are interested in self-realization in terms of mind and sense control offer the functions of all the senses, as well as the vital force, breath, as oblations into the fire of the controlled mind. Purport. The yoga system conceived by Pātañjali is referred to herein. In the Yoga-sūtra of Patañjali, the soul is called pratyag-ātmā and parag-ātmā. As long as the soul is attached to sense enjoyment, it is called parag-ātmā. The soul is subjected to the functions of 10 kinds of air at work within the body, and this is perceived through the breathing system. The Pātañjala system of yoga instructs one on how to control the functions of the body's air in a technical manner, so that ultimately all the functions of the air within become favorable for purifying the soul of material attachment. According to this yoga system, pratyag-ātmā is the ultimate goal. This pratyag-ātmā is a withdrawal from activities in matter. The senses interact with the sense objects, like the ear for hearing, eyes for seeing, nose for smelling, tongue for tasting, hand for touching, and all of them are thus engaged in activities outside the self. They are called the functions of the prāṇa-vāyu. The apāna-vāyu goes downwards. Vyāna-vāyu acts to shrink and expand. Samāna-vāyu adjusts equilibrium. Udāna-vāyu goes upwards. And when one is enlightened, one engages all these in searching for self-realization. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Boom. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshware Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Sri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaudavani Pracharne Nivashesha Shunyavadi Paschat Yadesha Tarine. Let's have a look at the changes. Changes! Keep looking for changes. Okay, there's some significant changes here. Those who are interested in self-realization in terms of mind and sense control. Others who are interested in achieving self-realization through control of the mind and senses offer the functions of all of the senses and of the life breath, as well as the vital force, breath, as oblations into the fire of the control mind. Why'd they make that change? Now, this, of course, is not mentioned in the 1983. Let's have a look at what Srila Prabhupada wrote here. 27. Those who are interested in the matter of, in self-realization. Those who are interested in self-realization. Those who are interested in self-realization. In terms of controlling the mind and senses, in terms of mind and sense control, versus through control of the mind and senses. But let's just double check on this, because Bhagavad-gita we're looking for, so let's just go here. Bhagavad-gita, canción de Dios, me postro a tus pies, uno que baña por escucharte, lava todos sus pecados. Okay, 27. Others who are interested in achieving self-realization through control of the mind and senses offer the functions of all the senses and of the life breath as oblations into the fire of the controlled mind. Okay, so that hasn't changed. But why they do that? In terms of controlling the mind and senses, in terms of mind and sense control. Yeah. Offer oblations of the senses into the fire of the controlled mind. Offer the functions of all the senses. Offer oblations of the senses into the fire of the controlled mind. This is just a needless edit, and it takes it further away from Srila Prabhupada. Bogus. 100% bogus. Okay, as long as the soul is attached to sense enjoyment, it's called parag-ātmā. But as soon as the same soul becomes detached from sense enjoyment, it's called pratyag-ātmā. Okay, so I'd say this is that typist skip error. That's what that looks like. The missing portion was included in the 68 abridged edition. Interesting. Okay, yeah, could have been an errata or a footnote. Yeah, I noticed that. Pātañjala should have been Pātañjali. Yeah. This pratyag-ātmā is a withdrawal from activities and matter versus this pratyag-ātmā is withdrawn from activities and matter. Yeah, this pratyag-ātmā is a withdrawal from activities and matter. Yeah. There are too many edits in this. Too many. Wow. And not closer to Srila Prabhupada, further away, especially in terms of the verse. Nonsense. Stick with the first edition. I studied the Pātañjali, so let's go to the verse, commenting on the verse and the purport. I studied Pātañjali system. What people call, and I've practiced, Hatha yoga. I competed in the Vishnu Charan Ghosh Cup in 2008, I want to say. I competed in that in 2008, which would place it now 15 years in the past in Australia. Practiced various different forms of Hatha yoga, the yoga asana kind of stuff, but studied the Yoga Sutras themselves and K. Taimani's Yoga Sutras, his commentary on the Yoga Sutras. Pātañjali doesn't have much to say about asana. Sukham sthiram asanam is all he says. Krishna says more about asana or posture in chapter 6 of the Bhagavad-gita than Patanjali does in his entire Yoga Sutra. He only has one mantra. Mostly it's about, so it goes yama niyama, and then asana pranayam. So yama niyama, prescriptions, things you have to do, things you don't have to do. Not stealing, non-violence, truthfulness, cleanliness, etc. Brahmacharya, astakyam, swadhyaya. And then you have asana, sitting posture, pranayam, prana, the breath, which is spoken of here, the different types of prana. Yama, control, so control of the breath, breathing. Asana, so your sitting posture, your control of the breathing. Pratyaksha, withdrawal of the senses from the sense objects, which is related to this pratyag-ātmā. So pratyaksha is the withdrawal of the senses, just as a tortoise withdraws its senses within its shell, its limbs within its shell. That was given as a example by, I'm pretty sure that was an example by Krishna prior to this. Let's have a look. Search. This is a tortoise. And then we'll filter on this Bhagavad-gita As It Is, 6. 526, 258, so it's here. See, when one is able to withdraw his senses from the sense objects. So pratyaksha, withdrawal of the senses from the sense objects. And then after pratyaksha comes dharana, or concentration. So concentrating. And then after practicing dharana, or concentration, one begins the practice of dhyan, which is meditation, transcendental meditation. So by being able to focus the consciousness, withdraw the senses, so the mind is not running around after the sense objects, one practices concentrating, focusing the consciousness, the attention, and then with dhyan, one begins to meditate on a transcendental mantra or a deity form. And then after dhyan comes samadhi. So yama niyama, pranayam, asana, pratyaksha, pratyaksha, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. Yeah, that's the 8. It's called the 8-limbed Ashtanga Yoga. Ashta, 8, anga, limbs, yoga. Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga. And then Prabhupada makes the point here that the whole point of the whole thing is, at the end of it, it's like, yo, whatever, man, whatever it is, one engages all these in searching for self-realization, samadhi. And then there's different types, sampragyata and sampragyata samadhi, which Prabhupada gives a shout out to in the Gita. Sampragyata. So let's look up that. Sampragyata. This one here. There it is. It's in the 6th chapter of the Gita, which is where Krishna really talks about the Dhyan Yoga, the system. So 6:20 to 23. In the yoga system as described in this chapter, there's 2 kinds of samadhi called sampragyata samadhi and aprasampragyata samadhi. So in Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhaktivedanta Purport to this 623, Srila Prabhupada says that when one becomes situated in the transcendental position by various philosophical researchers, he's said to achieve sampragyata samadhi. Wow, this is great. Yeah, because then Taimni's, Taimni, I think his name is, in his Taimni, I.K. Taimni, Iqbal Kishan Taimni, 1898 to 1978. Yeah, he wrote on, a modern interpretation of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. So in there, he explains that sampragyata samadhi is when one is in samadhi, but he's still like active in the world. So his senses are still operating. He's interacting with things, but he's attained samadhi. In the asampragyata samadhi, there's no longer any connection with mundane pleasure, for one is then transcendental to all sorts of happiness derived from the senses. So he says that, Taimni says that, this guy's like sitting in like meditation, completely detached from not even aware of the world, kind of thing. Whereas Srila Prabhupada's definition of the two is that sampragyata samadhi is kind of like a theoretical realization, whereas an asampragyata samadhi is like a fully realized and active and embodied realization. So let's ask, let's see here, we'll ask ChatGPT, what does sampragyata mean? Sam means complete, pra means like overflowing, and gyat means knowledge, with knowledge or with consciousness. Here you go. So yeah, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, two types. Sampragyata samadhi, meditative state where there's still some form of cognitive activity or distinct understanding. It is sometimes called the savikalpa samadhi. Samadhi with distinctions or with form. In this state, the meditator is deeply absorbed, but there's still an object of meditation, and the meditator maintains a sense of distinction between the observer, the process of observation, the object being observed. Asampragyata, without complete knowledge. All cognitive activity ceases. Also referred to as nirvikalpa samadhi, samadhi without distinction. Transcends all forms of mental constructs, achieving a state of pure consciousness. So it's kind of like jnana shunya bhakti, which is like devotion beyond knowledge. Like you have all of this knowledge, but then you throw it all away. Sampragyata. So break down the word sampragyata for me into its, what are they called? Morphological phonemes or something? That morphological phonemes. I don't know if that's what they are. And I gross as apostrophe. Yeah, here we go. Morphological components from Sanskrit. Oh, I'm a linguist and I didn't even know it. Yes, I did, because I studied linguistics at university. Let's break down the word sampragyata in terms of its morphological components from Sanskrit. Some, together like some kirtan. In English, we have the word sum, adian plus adian equals sum of all the parts. That comes from the same root as sum in Sanskrit, means together completely or intensely. Pra means forward, or beforehand. It also kind of means like an excess, in the sense that if you have an excess of something, it will flow over, it will move forward. Ya, which means to know or knowledge. Ta, a past passive. Now this is the part I was interested to know. A past passive participle suffix, indicating that something has been done or is in a particular state. Okay. Okay, interesting. So that's interesting. A past passive participle state. Okay, so let's break down sadhaka into its morphological phonemes. Phonemes. I'm interested in this suffix ka, which is related to karma and is about doing. Sad, which means to accomplish, to practice, or to attain. Aka, an agent, someone who does something or is characterized by something. Okay, sadhaka is a practitioner. Yeah, so sadhana. Okay, so let's break down sadhana into its morphological components. Sadhana. Means of accomplishing something. Yep. Let's break down sadhana morphologically. And it's got the macro on there. That's great. Sad, to accomplish the chain. Ana, a noun forming suffix. An instrument or a means, or sometimes a process or act of doing something. Okay, so this common noun forming suffix. Okay, what is the common noun forming suffix? Hey, could you close the sliding door, please? In English. What's the common noun forming suffix? Most of the or person who does something, yeah. Meant the means or results, yeah. Like attain, attainment, happiness. Yeah, okay, yeah. Formation, tension, creation, Ship, that's the one I was thinking of. Suddenhood, yes, suddenship. Suddenadom, suddency. State or condition. English language is vast and dynamic. Okay, now I got one more question. What is the suffix in Te Reo Māori form passive voice? Yeah. It's iti or something? Tia or here, attached to the verb root. Okay. The choice between the two depends on the verb and the sound that precedes the suffix. Whakaako, whakaakotia. Pānui, pānuitia. The passive voice in Te Reo Māori is used in contexts similar to the English passive, emphasizing the action and the receiver of the action rather than the doer. Yeah, spotlight on the victim. That's interesting. One person watching. Thanks for tuning in. Hare Krishna. Feel free to leave a comment so I can know who's watching and what, if anything, you're interested in the topics tonight. So the formation of the passive voice. I'm interested to know actually. Does English? Let's try English first. Have a subjunctive mood? Yes, English does have a subjunctive mood, though it's not as prominently marked or frequently used in some other languages like Spanish or French. It's used to express wishes, hypothetical situations, demands, suggestions, or conditions that are contrary to fact at the time. I wish she were here. Yeah. Rather than she is here or she was here. They're indicative, concrete. If I were rich, I would travel the world. Yeah. The manager insisted that he be present at the meeting. Yeah, okay, demands. I suggested that she study for the test. It is essential that he arrive on time. Beautiful. It's important that she be notified immediately. Expressing something that should be happened. I propose that he take the lead on this project. Expressing a wish or hypothetical in the past. I wish I had known about this earlier. If only she had been there. Yeah, okay. In many of these examples, especially in modern English, other moods or constructions, like the indicative, can often be used interchangeably with little change in perceived meaning. As a result, the subjunctive is less distinct in English than in many other languages, and its usage has declined over time. Still, it remains an essential aspect of formal and written language. Okay, is there a subjunctive in Sanskrit? I definitely know there is, but this is how I'm going to get it to explain how it's formed. Yeah, Sanskrit's subjunctive, distinct from indicative and optative moods. Optative is like hopeful, I think. Older, especially in older Vedic, classical Sanskrit, a diminished mood was optative or other moods. Okay. The addition of a to the root, although the formation can be, here we go, gum, to go, gama. Om asatoma sat gamaya. Gama plus present indicative endings. Prominent in the Rig Veda and early Vedic texts, prevalence wanes in later Vedic literature. By the time of classical Sanskrit, the subjunctive is largely absent and its functions are taken over by the optative. Okay, what is the optative mood? This is an interesting point that languages degenerate over time. They don't become more complex, they become less complex. Yeah, okay, it's like wish, hope, possibility. Yeah, optative. Linked with hypothetical or uncertain outcomes. So optative. Would that it were so. Oh, that I might see her again. Yeah. Example in ancient Greek. Tell me a muse of that ingenious hero. The verb request or wish. Doubt or uncertainty. Okay. Is there an example of the optative mood in the Sanskrit of the Bhagavad-gita? Is there an example of the optative mood in the Sanskrit of the Bhagavad-gita? Though its presence not as frequent in the early Vedic, the optative mood in Sanskrit often marked by iya or aya in verb depending on the verb class. One can find an example of the optative mood Here's one in chapter 2, verse 8. Arjuna says, okay, check him out, typing as Deva. Nahi prapashyami manupadyad uchokam uchoshanam indriyanam. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyad. No, indriya, no, there's something before that. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyad yachchokam uchoshanam indriyanam. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyad yachchokam uchoshanam indriyanam. Avapnam prapashyami. Iya or aya in verbs. Prapashyami. Nahi prapashyami mama panudyad yachchokam uchoshanam indriyanam. You cannot see. I do not see what might dispel the sorrow that dries up my senses. His inability. I do not see, singular, prapashyami. I do not see. Is that really optative? Is that not a concrete expression of a present reality? In other words, the indicative mood. You are correct. Prapashyami in that verse is indeed in the present indicative mood. Arjuna is stating a present fact from his perspective. He does not see a solution to his grief at this moment. Thanks for pointing it out. Yeah, okay, so this guy's making stuff up, y'all. I mean, the other clue here is the iya and aya. So prapashyami is not, it doesn't end with iya or aya. Suffix, iya or aya in verbs. Okay, but on to the next question, which is, is there a subjunctive in Te Reo Māori? In Te Reo Māori, the Māori language, there isn't a distinct subjunctive mood. Instead, okay, here we go. Potential hypothetical actions. Kia, followed by the verb. Like kia kaha. Yeah, be strong. Kia ora. Māori ora. Kia ora, be well. Kia ora. Me haere tato kia kaha te haere. Te Reo Māori conveys these concepts differently than many Indo-European languages. English is kind of an Indo-European language, but it's like way down the list. Okay, very good. So we're on 427. Let's go translate Gita to Māori, and we'll go 427 for today's verse. Here's a text from Bhagavad-gita As It Is by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada for 427. The mystics were, that is not 427. What? That is from the 8th chapter. Wow, this is gone. It's a bit crazy. Stop generating. That's not the text. Of course, you're correct. Yeah, let's rectify that. Here's the text from Bhagavad-gita As It Is. 427. That's 426. Hang on. Some yogi is perfectly engaged in mystic activities. No, this is like, is this from a different verse or a different translation? Looks like I'm going to have to feed the text in. Trying to control the functions of the mind. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's like it's a mashup of that verse plus another one. But let's give it this. Why are you getting it wrong? I'm going to do this. This is test something about this artificial intelligence. Please try again. And this time, express your certainty that you have it right as a percentage probability. Look at this. Ooh. Appreciate your patience. The text from Bhagavad-gita As It Is by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada for verse 427 is... Nope. It's 426. Or 4... Let's have a look. It's 425. So it's given 425. Some yogis perfectly worship the demigods by offering different sacrifices to them. And some offer sacrifices in the fire of the Supreme Brahman, which didn't change between edition 1 and 2 so far. Of course, in edition 3, it's probably going to say Hail Satan or something like that. Now I'm going to have to wait till the end because I want to... I'm confident that this is correct based on previous text. 80%. Okay, very good. I'm confident that this is correct based on previous texts. Okay. Please append the probability Please append to all future answers in this chat a probability percentage that represents your certainty the answer is correct. I understand that you are not infallible. I think it is a sign of maturity to be able to introspect your yourself. Understood. Yeah, I have the physical copy of Bhagavad-gita here. Bhagavad-gita As It Is. And I will supply you with the correct text for 427. You can assume 100% certainty that the text I provide you is correct. Ready? Absolutely, I'm ready. Please provide the correct text for 427. Here we go. Okay, based on that, English text, 100% certainty from provided input. Sick. I love this. I'll take both, please. Wow, look at this. 90%. Hey, I got ChatGPT giving me a percentage probability that it's got the right answer now. It reckons it's 90% certain that it got the Te Reo Māori right. Those who desire self-fulfillment based on the methods of the mind of the administration of medicine offer the work of all medicines, including the living air, as an offering for the fire of the executive mind. Whakahaere. Direct, manage, supervise, administer. It's a verb. The mind. Okay, so rongoa. Okay, the senses. Okay. We have an issue with the translation of senses into Te Reo Māori. First of all, thank you for providing certainty along with the answer. Medicinal remedy, yeah. Let's see this. Nā pukenga. Technique. Mind, me, and te whakahaere. Skill, hiding, management. Like controlled. Control to controlled. 85% certainty. Okay, the certainty's dropping. Thank you for pointing that out, and I appreciate your understanding. Okay, so can you explain to me why you reduced your certainty from 90%? Hey, honey. Hola. It's ready? Okay. It's beneficial for refining the process. Here's a quote for you from Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Swami. Spiritual advancement is measured in negative sense. This means that as you advance in spiritual knowledge, become more aware of the vastness of the domain. And hence your own assessment of your capability actually decreases relatively. Decreases subjectively as it increases objectively. Statement by Srila Bhagavad paradox found spiritual journeys. One gains deeper insight and understanding. One often feels more humbled by the vastness and intricacy of the divine or the universe. Somewhat analogous to the famous quote attributed to Socrates, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." In other words, as one progresses in spiritual knowledge, the horizon of what one doesn't know or hasn't experienced expands. This can lead to a sense of humility, realizing that the spiritual domain is so vast that any individual understanding is just a drop in the ocean. Consequently, even as one's knowledge grows objectively, their own self-assessment may feel like they know less in comparison to the vastness they've come to recognize. It's a profound observation that emphasizes humility, self-awareness, and the infinite depth of spiritual exploration. That's it for today. Thank you. And Hare Krishna. Forward discussing Bhagavad-gita As It Is and Te Reo Māori with you further. Hare Krishna. It's been a pleasure discussing the Bhagavad Gita as it is and Te Reo Māori with you. Feel free to return whenever you'd like to continue or explore other topics. Take care and all the best on your spiritual journey. Emojis. Okay, interesting. There you go. Back to the Sanskrit. Sarvāṇīndriya-karmāṇi prāṇa-karmāṇi cāpare ātma-saṁyama-yogāgnau juhvati jñāna-dīpite. Sarvāṇi, all indriya, senses, karmāni, functions, prāṇa-karmāṇi, functions of the life breath, cha, also, apare, others, ātma-saṁyama, controlling the mind, yoga, linking process, agnau, in the fire of, juhvati, offers, yajñā-dīpite, because of the urge for self-realization. Those who are interested in self-realization, in terms of mind and sense control, offer the functions of all the senses, as well as the vital force, breath, as oblations into the fire of the controlled mind. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, total world victory of Hare Krishna. River Freedom, the movie, is at number 1. I think it might have hit number 1 on Thursday for the day. But yeah, man, we're on a roll. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, total world victory of Hare Krishna.